Namaskar, hello everyone. Welcome to 15th episode of Money and Prosperity, the first one in 2019. I'm Ashok Vyas with ITV Gold and owner of Insightful Creativity, and our episode today is about business succession planning, and Paresh ji will be educating us about this topic. Paresh Shah. Such a wonderful, wonderful name in the field of financial professional oriented. And he's managing principal of Paresh Shah Partners LLC. He's a certified financial planner and wealth strategist for the past 22 years. That's a long time, and all these years he has helped individuals and businesses co-create innovative financial strategies. He's a licensed CPE presenter, educating CPAs as they guide their clients on investments, life, disability, and long-term care insurance. He specializes in pension plan and profit-sharing plans, asset protection, estate planning, and business succession planning. And the interesting thing about Paresh ji is that he graduated as a chemical engineer, and that was honors graduate from the prestigious IIT at Kharagpur, India. And he's a 2016 honoree for Long Island Business News Leaders and Diversity Awards. Paresh ji resides in town of Hicksville in Long Island, New York, with his wife Shimul and son Shamik. And now, as we begin a conversation for today's Money and Prosperity, even before doing that, I want you to greet our viewers because this is the first time that you are meeting them in 2019 in this show.
Namaskar. Thank you Ashok ji for the great introduction. Thank you viewers, and wishing all of you a very happy and healthy and prosperous 2019.
Wonderful, Paresh ji. Thank you very much, and Happy New Year to you as well. And we have talked a lot about families and investments, and since we are starting a new year, so let us talk a little bit about business owners. Business is very important to fuel the economy. And in your resume, as we always talk about business succession planning, sometimes people ask me, you haven't touched this in depth with Paresh ji. So talk to us a little bit about that.
So Ashok ji, you correctly pointed out that small businesses and businesses are the driving force of our economy. And for any business owner, the business that he creates is his kind of baby, He must have started in his home or some in his garage, and you hear all these stories about how they strived and worked and built on the business and then converted it into corporations, and which are multi-million dollar corporations which do so much volume of business and profits, and then they get listed on the stock exchanges. But that is like, those stories we've heard about Facebook and Google, how they started in the garage and then they went on to convert into such large businesses, and yet at the same time, there are so many smaller business owners who even today have maybe 1 employee, 2 employees, 5 employees. And they really are the engine of our economy. But they're also the baby. However big they become, they still remain the baby of the creator, of the person who made it. Now this business is, for most business owners, is not just a source of their income, but it is also probably one of their largest assets. So lifelong what happens is that they build the business and they earn income from it. And that income that they earn from it, they use for their day-to-day expenses, for their life, etc., things like that. And then afterwards, that what they want to do is, sell or exchange that business for money, hand it over to somebody else, and use that pool of money to get lifelong income, which we then call retirement. So that process wherein, you have to convert your business, which is an asset, into a pool of money which can then be used to give you income when you're not working in the business anymore. That process is business succession planning or exit planning.
Absolutely. So that seems to be an important step for anyone who is in the business to see future in a way which makes a lot of sense. But then it is all about timing. When would you say a business owner should start thinking about business succession planning? Is something to do with industry specific, or let's say 10 years, 20 years, when or maybe age of the person who is the business owner?
So that's a great question, because you see, everyone starts thinking about business succession planning when they feel that they have probably 3 to 5 years or maybe 10 years left to stop working and start thinking about how they will spend life when they stop working. So if they're thinking along those lines, then they're starting to put pieces together. Okay, I think I need to slow down for whatever reason. Either it's because they have some challenges that they want to slow down, or it's just that they feel that, okay, there's a point has come where I think we have enough assets where we can manage, or we have enough money, we can manage the rest of our lives, and we don't need to continue this work in the business anymore. So that would be a planned event, or what we call a voluntary exit from the business. But sometimes you have an involuntary exit from the business. Like you may have somebody, the business owner creates a business but passes away, or he might get sick or injured and he cannot work anymore in the business. Or sometimes business environment changes. Like if I can give you one example of that, a lot of business owners had purchased taxi cabs in New York, and the value was of that, what they call the medallion.
Yes.
The medallion has a very big value. So over a period of time, the value of the medallion kept growing every year. So if you are a taxi cab owner, you are thought of one of two things. As I'm running my cab, I'm making income. And then in future, I can do one of two things. I can either sell off this cab and raise money, or sell off the medallion and raise money. Or second, what I can do is that lease out the medallion and somebody else will run the taxi cab and pay me some money. But now Uber came in. And with the arrival of Uber, the price of that medallion has come down considerably. So that's like an unforeseen event. So while you can really think about voluntary events, involuntary events which are not in your control, that also may force you to exit the business. Now, if there is an involuntary event that may happen, then there is no control on the timing of it. So it's not like you have to say, okay, I'm 40 today, I'm still going to work for at least 20 years. So I can wait another 15 years before I look for my successor in the business, or look for how to sell off the business. The other involuntary part may come immediately. So I feel thinking about business succession planning or the right exit strategy is something that all business owners need to take up in the present, That is very important.
I think that makes a lot of sense, that business succession planning has so much importance in terms of what will be the future. As you mentioned about merger, or if there are some changes in any company setup. But then the question is how this planning process of business succession begins. For example, if a business owner have a meeting with financial professional Paresh Shah, what is the first step that you recommend them that they should take?
That's another very important question, because we're so caught up in the day-to-day running of the business that we do not think along the lines of what is going to happen in terms of the succession planning, or in terms of what's going to happen in the future. I think somebody who is running a business must first start thinking about the involuntary factors. That means now you're a business owner, now you build the business to a certain level, and the business has become the source of income. So I think what can prevent that income, or what can make that asset value come down today, I think that's where you start needing to think about. So you need to start thinking about the involuntary factors first. I think that's the where you really begin the process of business.
So when you're saying involuntary factors, I would like you to kind of clarify a little bit more if you feel that would help our viewers understand more of it. And also there must be some critical professionals that would be needed to get involved in the team.
Let me first start with, we'll take the question about the professionals a little later, but first let's start with the involuntary factors.
Absolutely.
First let's start with the ones which are very obvious, which is unfortunate passing away of somebody, or sickness or injury, right? So let's take passing away. So when a person passes away, his ability to go out every day and work and produce money from the business, that goes away. Now for most small businesses, that would almost mean the end or the death of their business, correct? So the family loses the income. So you need to provide a way in which the family can have a pool of money to continue. If you want the family to run the business, then there must be an ability to have enough money in order for the family to hire somebody, or for the next successor, maybe the spouse or the child of the business owner, to get trained and to take over the business. In that case, life insurance becomes a good way to do it. If you're talking about something like sickness or injury, then maybe there's some products called disability income insurance. They can be important. But then let's talk about factors like change of business environment. That's something you can't really predict, So in that case, a business owner can look at planning that, okay, if there's a drastic change in environment, can I manage for 6 months or a year? How do we create adequate reserves in the planning so that there is time available for the business owner to be able to change course or make changes at zero level of income in order for him to start up, So that, I think, is the beginning step, to become aware that there is something out there and to take steps in the direction of the voluntary or involuntary. More important in the involuntary area to start with.
And maybe you want to say something about the critical professionals.
Right. I think more business succession planning, for most business owners, I've always known that the CPA is the first line of defense. So the CPA is the first person that they go to for question. So it's very important to involve your CPA, because probably your CPA has been with you from the day you first formed that corporation, and then you went forward and you took your first loan and so on and so forth, and the CPA has guided you all along. So he understands you and your business. So getting your CPA involved, and then the CPA and the financial planning professional can involve other attorneys like the estate planning attorney or a business attorney, whoever is needed, we may get some valuation professionals in there. Whatever are the factors that are needed, I think those are the professionals that you need to assemble. But
and Paresh, sorry to interrupt you, but I was just wondering, what role do you play?
Well, our role as financial advisors is we are on a three-legged stool, First is the planning itself. That means we help quarterback the whole effort. We put together the whole team for the client, and we do the planning. Not only that, we can help with the life insurance or disability insurance needed, and we can also help with managing some of the reserves that need to be created from time and time again.
Thank you very much, Paresh. Looks like time is telling us that we should conclude our conversation about business succession planning today here. The only thing that I would like to remind our viewers today is that Paresh Shah ji is approachable for consultancy, and the number where you can reach him is 516-268-3446. 516-268-3446, and as we were displaying, his email ID is pshah, simple to remember, pshah@pareshshah, PARESHAH.com. So that's the valuable information. I just feel like repeating the phone number again, 516-268-3446. Paresh, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
So that was Money and Prosperity with Paresh Shah ji, and thank you very much for joining us with lots of good wishes. This is Shobhyas.